Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to my channel. My name is Omega Sega and today we're gonna do the top 5 Heisei Rider. Let's go! Omae no tsumi wa kazero. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Kamen Rider W. Kamen Rider W is the Kamen Rider of Futo City and is played by, not really played by, but is used by Shotaro and Philippe. Each by half. Philippe is a mysterious guy that we still don't know where he came from. Shotaro is the hot-boiled detective. He was trained by Tsukochi Narumi, also known as a movie exclusive Kamen Rider School. What's so funny about Kamen Rider W is they're using USB flash drives, also called as Gaia memories, to fight criminals or monsters that become at least criminals or other interested participants who becomes monsters that called Depont. For the rest, what I have to say, it's very funny that they're using USB sticks, what I told you earlier before. Kamen Rider W is using one main form, and that is Cyclone Joker. Behind that, he's using also some other USB sticks that those are Hitometeru, Luna, and Teriga. And for his final form, he's using the extreme Gaia memory, and that makes him Kamen Rider W Cyclone Joker Extreme. And this is one of the clips that is from the movie Kamen Rider W A to Z Gaia memory, and here you see the powerful Cyclone Joker Extreme in a final attack against Kamen Rider Etanaru in this movie. And that's why I love Kamen Rider W. So let's move on to the next Kamen Rider. It's Henshin. Ore ga seigi. 手の道を行き、すべて突き定る. That's Kamen Rider Kabuto what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I like to say the catchphrases like, well, it sounds funny. But yeah, Kamen Rider Kabuto talks about a Kamen Rider who uses Zector, and it calls Kabuto Zector. And the Kamen Rider who is Kamen Rider Kabuto, at least the user, is Soji Tendo. Soji Tendo is a very relaxed guy, at least that's what I saw in the series. Very relaxed guy, protects people all the way. And what's so nice about Kamen Rider Kabuto is that he has two forms actually, the cast form and the cast off form, I will call it like that. Kamen Rider Kabuto is the main rider. The second rider in the Kamen Rider Kabuto series is Kamen Rider Gatak, and played by Arata Kagami. Arata Kagami wanted to be Kamen Rider Kabuto, but the Zector didn't accept him as a Kabuto user, and so that's a little bit funny. The monsters that Kamen Rider Kabuto is fighting, and at least the Kamen Riders in this series, are worms. They're called worms, and that's very funny because those worms are just changing like worms to butterfly, you know, and all those monsters are still keeping changing in even different monsters, and that's really funny to see how they managed to keep this insect-based Kamen Rider. the changers, or at least the Kabuto belt and everything like that, are the sectors, called sectors, because you have different forms. And what I told you before is Kamen Rider Gatak, Kamen Rider DB, Drake, Sasword, Kick Chopper, Punch Chopper, and Dark Kabuto. Those are at least the main riders in the show, to say that. And this is what I'm talking right now, right, guys? This is really awesome cast off. He removes his armor and change in his kind of not really hyper mode, because hyper mode is a mode that comes later in the series. Sorry, spoiler alert. I should say that in early this video, but for the viewers, I'm sorry, but it will be a spoiler alert. Yeah, so those Zactors, I'm not really sure that. Well, they have the name Zact on each belt. So I'm thinking that they are made by Zact, the company Zact. The Zact troopers are also a main thing, because it's a kind of police, so they are fighting the worms. So that's very nice. And what's also nice about Kabuto is even if that the user Sojitendo is relaxed and keeps fighting the evil worms, he keeps evolving and relaxed even by fighting those monsters, and that's that's so nice. What's very funny about those worms is that they're actually humans, because in around 7 years ago, at least in the year, because Kamen Rider Kabuto is from the year 2006 to 2007, and was aired together with Gogo Sentai Bokenja in Superhero Time. But this year, 7 years ago, actually, there was a meteorite went down to Earth, and that meteorite causes the worm problems. So that's a very interesting story. For me, like, it was very nice story. It was an interesting story, and Kamen Rider Kabuto, for me, is I liked it because he still has the normal attacks like the rider kick or the rider punch, and he says it also. Even what's funny is even his Kabuto Zactor says the same thing. You will see that right now in the clip. It will count like 1, 2, 3, and then it says rider kick. And then you'll see this kind of electricity power on his leg, and then bam, and it's over. Well, this is Kamen Rider Kabuto, my opinion, my favorite rider. So let's continue to the next one. I think you know what I'm seeing, and I hope you know this rider, because Kamen Rider Kuga is aired on the year 2000 until 2001. Yeah, and what's so funny is that Kamen Rider Kuga is the first of the new generation of Kamen Rider in the Heisei era. He started everything for the new generation Kamen Riders. Kamen Rider Kuga is aired on 2000, what I already told, and aired together with the Superhero Time timescap. He started with Mirai Sentai Time Ranger from the Super Sentai series. The main user of the Kamen Rider Kuga belt is Yusuke Godai. Yusuke Godai didn't have really a catchphrase like the other two riders, what I told you already. So yeah, it is really he puts his thumbs up, and that's everything what he said actually. And yeah, and he has awesome forms also. So yeah, I mean, he had, I think I remember it right, it was the Pegasus form, was the purple one, and there were also the Kabuto form. There was Pegasus form. There was the Pegasus form, the normal Kuga form, so everyone knows him by the name Kuga. You had also the Kuga Ultimate form, and you had the Growing form. That was the first form that you have. You had the Mighty form that I said that was the Kuga form. You had the Titan and the Dragon form. Those are the forms that you had in Kamen Rider Kuga, and those both had incredible weapons. I mean, the Mighty form had just fighting. The Dragon form had this kind of lance. The Pegasus form had a gun, and the Titan form had a sword. The Super form, and that's the black form, Amazing Mighty it's also called. That's his final form after he is ultimate. So, no, Amazing Mighty. Then you have Ultimate form, and then you have Rising Ultimate and Super Rising Ultimate. So he uses all his power, and that's already amazing. There you see in this clip, there is the Amazing Mighty. And in Kamen Rider Decade, there was an older actor who played Kamen Rider Kuga, because the older one didn't want to came back. So let's go to the next rider. And we say Ore Sanjo. And I'm talking about Kamen Rider Den-O. Kamen Rider Den-O is also one of my favorite riders, and I will tell you direct in a bit, because my favorite character of Kamen Rider Den-O is Momotaros. Momotaros is an Oni of, well, say it's not an Oni, but Oni kind of devil-ish, Japanese form of devil. But Kamen Rider Den-O travels from timelines, two timelines, to say like that. Kamen Rider Den-O has different forms, a lot of different forms to say. Kamen Rider Den-O uses where Momotaros is using Ryotaro. Ryotaro Nogami is the main character in the series. If Momotaros possess Ryotaro, he will use the sword form. If Kamen Rider Den-O changes, you have Yotaros, Kintaros, and Ryotaros. And also in some they say it's a movie exclusive, but I don't think so, because I saw him also in the series, and it's Sage. If I say his name right, it's Sage. Those forms are all different. So Ryotaros is rod form, Kintaros is axe, Ryotaros is gun form, and Sage is wing form. All those combined, you will get expect the wing form, but the rest of the forms, all the forms together, forms the liner form. You will see that later in the clip. Don't worry about that. But those taros, who they called, are Imagine. In the series, you have good Imagine, that's the Imagines who fighting with Ryotaro, and you have bad Imagines that possess people, or not really possess people, but make a contract with them. Um, so I will tell you a little bit about those imagines. Momotaro's is a little bit the hotshot, the hotshot, the cool guy. You know, he likes to not really to hang out, but just to pick up to someone. You know, he likes to pick up a fight. You will say that. We have Yutaros. Yutaros is the one who uses rod form, the blue one actually. He is the kind of gentle guy, and I mean really gentle guy. He is very flirty with girls, so every time when he saws a girl, he's really flirty, and that's the kind of stuff that it reminds me of Pokemon Brock, you know, that kind of guy, but more gentle. Then we have Kintaros. Kintaros is a funny based imagine, because he is someone with strength. That's what you really need in a kind of series like Kamen Rider. You need someone with strength, and his main weapon is an axe. So yeah, so that's really funny to have someone like big guts. I will say that Kintaros is more big guts guy. He also like to pick up a fight, but he's not that kind of hotshot like Momotaro's. So you know what I'm saying, where I'm going right there. So yeah, he's like a bodyguard, like a big guy, big bro, something like that. And then we have the funniest guy of everyone. Even Momotaro's is funny, but this one is funny in the way of childish. We're talking about Ryutaro's. Ryutaro's is funny, but for me he's like more like childish guy who likes to play and enjoy the fight, to say like that. Yeah, he enjoys the fight every time, and that makes Ryutaro's the most funniest guy of the Kamen Rider Den O series. Then there is also a second rider before I forgot this one. Kamen Rider Zeronos, played by Yuto Tsukarai. Or the main user is Yuto Tsukarai. And not to forget, also Zeronos is using of having an imagined partner. His partner is Dembe, if I'm saying right. Sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, he has also an own imagine. His imagine is also a very gentle guy like Sage and Yutaros. So those are the three imagines for me, in my way, in my opinion. Also the nice, kind, and sweet riders. So what you're seeing now in this clip is the Kamen Rider Den-O liner form. What I already told is all the four forms that Ryotaro uses are using one super form, because yeah, it's very nice. I mean, you can see that all four of them all together and fighting together. So yeah, it's funny. That's why he's one of my favorite too. So let's go and see the next Kamen Rider. Go, go, go! And this is one of my favorites. Who doesn't love fruits and the Sengoku era? I think everyone. And especially to entertain kids. I mean, kids love dancing, right? Kids love fruits and love a lot of stuff, but you can eat. So why not doing a Kamen Rider by using just a nice fruit mix? Don't you think? Well, what I want to tell is that Kamen Rider Gaim is one of my favorites and top favorites. I love the idea that they're using the Henshin, the Sengoku driver, to Henshin, and every time that the belt goes on the wrist or on the middle of the rider, it reminds you that it talks about the Sengoku era. So that's very funny. The place where it's played is Zawame City, and well, it's funny that they mixed. How they mixed fruits with lock seeds. Very great creative idea. I will say, don't change that. And it's also the second Kamen Rider that I think. Yeah, it's the second Kamen Rider who uses actually 13 Kamen Riders in one. And I can tell you, this is no Fruit Ninja, okay? Well, the main character is Kota Kazuruwa, and he uses the Gaim power. And I tell you, it's no, I'm serious. There is no Fruit Ninja or something like that. And the other riders I will tell you is Kamen Rider Baron. Ryugen, you have Zangetsu, Gridon, Kuragage, Bravo, Zangetsu Shin, Duke, Stingyurt, Marika, Knuckles, Morse, and Jam. There you go, all 13 riders. And that's so nice because even it continues even when even in the movie they continue with the lock seats. And you have a lot of them. I'm not sure if I remember all of them, but to talk further about team, it's very funny because it's fruit dance themed era actually. You have Team Gaim where Kaito, if I say Kota, sorry, Kaito is from the other team. Kota is in the dance team Gaim. You have Team Baron where Kaito is. Kaito is really big boss, the hot shot, the guy who wants everything and who wants to win every time. So that's, yeah. The character is very nice. I mean, the person who played the character, great job. I mean, all the Gaim character played so well. They played so well their roles. I mean, I have even my crush. She played Mai Takutsukasa, and Yumi Shida was when I watched that, I was really sold by her sweet, cute smile and face that she has. And the most lovely forms that I like from Kamen Rider Gaim are the Kamen Rider Kochidoki arms and the Kamen Rider the Kamen Rider Kiwami arms, because they fuse every power and every lock seat power that they uses. So that's a very nice thing to see, and that's one also for my lovely leg. This one, the fruit basket, I love that. I mean, I possess the belt by myself also, and I love to see it, just to hear the sound of those both lock seats and the look of the Kamen Rider Gaim itself in Kiwami mode. That's so nice. So I'll let you enjoy this mode first, and then we continue. I think it's our last one already. Wow, it's going so fast. Oh, we have a bonus. Orega Henshin Suru. I'm talking about Kamen Rider Ozu. Kamen Rider Ozu is also one of my favorites, and I put him in a bonus because, yeah, I like him. I like him as a rider. I like the idea of using medals and powers of using powers of animals. You know, and yeah, you have Kamen Rider Ozu, and is the main user is Enji Hino. Enji Hino is kind of traveler who doesn't have a place to call home and had a tragic past. So yeah, the monsters he fighting in Kamen Rider Ozu are com-based. Honku, known as Greed, awakening after there around 800 years. Something like that, and there was an unnamed king. They still don't know how the king's name is, but Anke gave, or at least a good greed actually, named Ang, gives Angie the 3 medals and the belt, and everything. They make him Kamen Rider Oz and Tora Bata. And what's funny is that most of the medals are called in Japanese. So you have Taka is eagle, or yeah, eagle. Tora is tiger, and Bata is grasshopper. And that's the character is so nice. Also, I mean, for every rider they use just to create and also great characters. There are two second riders, one normal, one second rider, and after that there was a prototype of the second rider, but used by someone else. You have Kamen Rider Birth, and you have Kamen Rider Birth prototype. Kamen Rider Birth is still using his belt and played by Akira Date. And later in the series is also played by, used by Shintaro Goto. Shintaro Goto was from the agency, but the agency, he didn't like to work at the agency, so he helped them in a different way to protect Earth and defeating the Greeds by using the Kamen Rider Birth prototype. There were some exclusive and movie specials Kamen Rider, so Kamen Rider Birth was already there, Kamen Rider Core, Kamen Rider Poseidon, and Kamen Rider Aqua. Yeah, those are very nice things, and there's also a nice story for especially using medals and different forms. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, ladies and gentlemen. Click on the subscribe button and like button, and see you on the next time.